Hey there, Kenneth French of Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. We're very, very happy you stopped by. Either you're going to watch this or listen to this because you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably an entrepreneur who's either just starting out or you've been around for quite a while and you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably a real estate investor, maybe even a real estate agent, maybe a professional or of some sort, professional advisor of some sort. And well, you are stopping by because you need some valuable advice from one of the top industry leaders there is. Anyway, thank you very much. Once again, Kenneth French, Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Really glad you stopped by.
Hey there, Kenneth French, author of ModernMillions.AI. Putting this together, basically a live look in at, chatting about me writing the book, what I've gone through, what I'm going through, and hopefully what I'm going to be going through as I become a huge author because of my book, ModernMillions.AI, by the way. The acronym is Make Millions, Save Millions, and Protect Millions. The reason I put the book together, well, we've been using artificial intelligence for years. 2010 is when I started researching it. 2014 was when I started using it. 2018, my company, VastSolutionsGroup.com, is when we started our own model, tax model called Einstein. And I wanted to, shed some light on how artificial intelligence can help business owners or really entrepreneurs, investors, usually real estate investors in the US, to make money, et cetera, et cetera. And anyway, so I'm going to be answering questions. That's the reason we put this together, answering questions about the book or about really anything that can help you as an entrepreneur take your business, take your assets, et cetera, to the next level. So I'm going to just take a few minutes while some questions come into the chat. Please go ahead, ask whatever questions you have in the chat. I'll try to get to as many as possible. Hopefully I'm not going to take that long, or I'd like to take as long as needed to be able to answer some of the questions about the book and about my journey putting it together. And really, hopefully I can help some people with just some questions about maybe even being an author. Because I will say, this is my fourth book. What I will say is there is no better thing than writing a book and being able to help someone to get to their goals based on the book. And by the way, I'm going to mention a couple things about the book. So when writing the book, this is a little bit different than any of my other ventures, because my other book, here we're putting a lot more intent behind the book. We have 25 people who are on the launch committee who are helping to get the word out about the book. We've never done that. I've just kind of had a book just to use it as a business card when people had some questions or wanted to get to know me. But this one, a lot more intent. We're getting the word out because artificial intelligence is such a big thing. It can help so many people. I think there's some myths out there what it can do in the fintech space, because a lot of people don't know that, one, you can do so many things with it to increase your net worth, make millions in the stock market, in your business, automation, et cetera. And then also to save money as far as taxes go. And the same thing goes for asset protection, estate planning, et cetera. So, but it's a little different because this is it's a living, breathing book, if you will. So meaning the book's going to be available as hopefully as you know, but on Amazon, on Google, favorite, nearest retailer book outlet. But at the same time, on ModernMillions.ai, we're going to have some companion components that are going to help as far as resources to be continually updated so people will not be left behind, because there's so many new things that are, by the way, thanks for putting in some of the chat. There's so many things that are coming out as far as artificial intelligence that can be a resource for business owners. So it's confusing. So we're going to be going through that process of updating it, which a lot of the resources are going to be in line with the book. So it'll be a kind of a, it's a living, breathing book, if you will. It's not going to be just put on the bookshelf. It's going to be something that's going to be updated. So it's going to help business owners. So how many times do you read a book, whatever the book is? I wrote a book, I wrote a number of books, but I wrote a book that I felt like people just put on the shelf. They didn't act on it. You have to act on it. It's hard to act on an AI book because AI is changing so rapidly. It's going to be changing so rapidly. So hence the reason, we came out with ModernMillions.ai, the website, to help people on an ongoing basis. So I'm going to answer some of the questions that are popping up. Artificial intelligence. So why artificial intelligence is such a big helper for fintech. So if you really think about it, artificial intelligence makes a mistake 14% of the time in general, as we speak now. Humans, let's just say they make mistakes 40% of the time. So which one's better? Don't you want to make a mistake 14% of the time versus 40? But at the same time, if you combine human consultation with artificial intelligence, it lowers the number from, let's say, 14 to maybe 10%. I don't know the real number, but whatever the number is, that's the reason we decided to use artificial intelligence to lower tax liability. That's the reason we used artificial intelligence to, increase net worth, et cetera, et cetera. So, and this isn't really only bragging about me, by the way. The book, I don't care which artificial intelligence app or model or whatever you use, but it's time to use artificial intelligence to the extent you can. Artificial intelligence with the LLMs of today, you have the same knowledge base as someone else who's doing whatever surgery, someone who's doing taxes, someone who's doing investments. Now, the question is, do you have the time to put into it? Usually those people do. And if you're working with someone who, meaning as an example, a surgeon, investment person, et cetera, if you're working with someone who in that space, let's say in the tax space, and they really understand AI and they've married them well, their knowledge base with the AI, you'll be much better. Anyway, hopefully that answers that question. Yeah. So yeah, we're an old company. That's a funny comment. We're an old company. 1969 is when we were, if you will, born. But at the same time, as a company, I took over in 2006, and that company is called VastSolutionsGroup.com. And we started using artificial intelligence really 2014 for some of the kind of smaller tasks. 2018 is when we really started using it for defined benefit plans, et cetera. But what I would say is, yeah, we're still an old school company. We believe in service, old school service, but at the same time, we're trying to make it as efficient. We've always tried to make it as efficiently as possible with artificial intelligence. So yeah, we're an old company, but at the same time, we are kind of new because we combine old school service with the artificial intelligence. Was the book hard? Yeah, I'll be pretty frank. So I wrote a book. No, I did a presentation years ago, and it was right as we were starting to use artificial intelligence, 2013. Did a presentation, actually it was in Las Vegas, and I basically did, basically an outline of the book, ModernMillions.ai, did an outline. And now what I've done basically is backfilled it with artificial intelligence information. So yeah, was it hard? Yeah, I like to say, I started doing the research in 2010 for the book. But no, not really. But basically, it combined all the old school stuff that we did back in that Las Vegas presentation, which you could kind of see that's got some old school elements with the artificial intelligence component kind of not thrown in there, but married. I really appreciate all these questions. I'm getting a lot of good questions. Sorry. Information about myself. Yeah, I run VastSolutionsGroup.com. Again, 2006. I'm a as I mentioned, a 4-time author. I've been, I was a Forbes.com small business contributor. Been in the fintech space for a while. I believe in technology to help business owners to get to their goal, mainly solopreneurs, usually real estate investors. So many people, forget about the real estate investor, the solopreneur. Would you rather, as let's say an advisor, would you rather work with someone who's got whatever, 10 employees or making a lot of money, or someone who's a solopreneur? Generally speaking, people will forget about the solopreneur, but those are the people I consider the engine of the economy in the US. So that's the reason I've kind of focused on solopreneurs. I think there's so many ways to make them more efficient than they are, not only in their business, also increasing their net worth, also lowering their taxes, also helping with estate planning. So anyway, and there you go. That's information about myself. Oh, thank you very much. Got a compliment on the book. Someone liked the book. Thanks, Timmy. That's cool. She got a pre-release copy of the book. Yeah. And by the way, if you go to, Amazon.com, depending on when you're watching this, even though it's live, it might be recorded for you. But if you could give a recommendation to another friend about the book, ModernMillions.ai, written by Kenneth French, or number 2, write a nice recommendation about the book. That would help us go a long way, because I didn't realize, especially when I wrote the other 3, how important that was. And it's really important. That's the reason we put together the launch team, because we want to get the word out. Getting more people on the launch committee to get the word out will get people's eyeballs on the book, because they're kind of out there. They're being my megaphone, if you will. So that'd be great if you could do that. That was a huge compliment for me. Yeah. So ModernMillions.ai will be updated. I'm going to say on a weekly basis because it has to be updated on a weekly basis. It's going to be monitored whenever we're using or suggesting other artificial intelligence apps that are in line with a book that can help a business owner to take it to the next level. There will be information on there. It sounds like it's going to be on a weekly basis because, man, the speed at which things are coming out is crazy. And if, let's just say as an example, we have an idea to, as far as artificial intelligence app goes or resource goes, to, make millions, we're going to put it in there. Same thing with, increasing the moat around, making bigger the moat around someone's assets. As far as asset protection goes, we're going to get it out there. We are going to use that as a living, breathing component of the book, even though the book, let's say it's written now, and let's say in 2 years, things are going to be different as far as resources. So it's going to be a living, breathing component of the book. There, by the way, ModernMillions.ai, there's going to be workbooks there. There's going to be audiobooks there. There's going to be a summary of the book, a summary of the changes as far as resources, et cetera. So there's going to be a lot of things that are going to help the business owner with the book. Yeah. So I've been, someone asked about the speaking engagements. Yeah, I have been going around speaking about the book, probably not as much as I should, but when it comes out, we're going to be really hitting the speaking circuit. I'm going to be speaking with Sharon Lecter and her group, Ron LeGrand and his group, Bob Bloom and his group. I'm going to be talking to Ryan Bakke and his group, Tom Kroll and his group. I'm not sure if I'm talking at that group. Anyway, there's a number of Multifamily Incorporated down in Florida. I'm going to be getting the word out as much as possible, and I didn't do that in the other 3 books quite as much. I just wrote them. I failed in that, and now I'm going to be getting the word out a little bit more. Yeah. So, yeah, I did use artificial intelligence to write the book. Not as much as one would think, because I wanted to put my own flavor in there, et cetera, et cetera. Also, I've had a lot of help from one of my employees, Princess. She's been a big, big help. No, she's not an AI model, by the way, but she's helped me to really do some things that I never knew possible with respect to being an author. She's opened my eyes, which is an I feel like we've done it in a partnership, which I'm glad that I'm mentioning her because she's a big component of what I think is going to be a successful book. So hence the reason I'm throwing that out. Oh, another question. This is actually kind of a funny question. Writing a book now with AI, why even do it? Well, what I would say is that's probably good. That's probably true. Anyone could write a book nowadays. It's a lot easier than it used to be. It's still the process, and you still have to compile the information. So it was good for me to compile it because it helps keep my my knife sharp. Number one. Number two, um, the things that we have found important utilizing artificial intelligence in the fintech space to help people as far as make millions, save millions, and protect millions is now out there in the marketplace. So we can couple what we know on an ongoing basis because we're going to be updating the website on an ongoing basis. So the kind of the foundation is the book, and then the website is adding on to the book on an ongoing basis. So I would say this is a little bit different but I would also say what you're saying does make sense. Anyone could write a book, but at least we're on an ongoing basis going to be updating it in line of the platform that is ModernMillions.ai. Would I sign a copy? Yeah. How about this? Yes. Would I offer a signed copy? Because thank you for that question, Jared. Thank you for asking that question. For anyone who is watching or listening to this, is while supplies last, what I will say is I will sign a copy of the book and send you a copy of the book. Go ahead and email us at no, just go ahead and answer modernmillions.ai, and then we will go ahead and send a copy of the book, a signed copy of the book. That makes me feel good that someone asked. Google review. Yeah, I'd love Google reviews. If someone would do a Google review, 100%, we'd appreciate a Google review. By the way, if you just want to do the Google review based on the summary, sounds great. Or if you want to read the full book, sounds great as well. I really do appreciate. And if you read the book and send the book to someone, I would feel much obliged because I feel like that's the most important thing. If someone reads the book, they like the book, and they send it to a friend and they think it makes sense, love it, because that means something worked. Something really worked. Something I said in that book, something I wrote in that book made sense to you, the person who's referring or sending the book on. that means that it was a powerful book for you. Uh, yeah. So let me make mention of that. So there's no guarantee that artificial intelligence is going to, actually take you to the next level. What really, and I should have said that at the outset, but really what makes sense is if someone can take that first step to artificial intelligence, you'll be happy that you did. It's not enough just to, start using artificial intelligence kind of whatever, casually or whatever. You have to do that first step with intent. And what I will say is, it's been shocking to me how much money we have been able to save clients based on artificial intelligence. Everyone, every tax professional should be using artificial intelligence, not only for their practice, by the way, but also to help clients save money. There's no way a human who's making 40% mistakes 40% of the time making mistakes can outdo an artificial intelligence model. It just doesn't happen. Artificial intelligence knows so much. Back in the day when we were using it to start, we did better than a lot of tax professionals. Now with all the cool stuff that's out there, it's even going to get better. So there's just no doubt if you're a tax professional, use artificial intelligence, not only for your practice, but to save money for clients. If you're a client, let's just say with a modest net worth and you're struggling to pay a tax provider, go to AI model. It's better than doing taxes yourself, by the way. I was talking to a guy earlier this week and he was trying to do his own taxes. I said, all right, I kind of set him up with a very simplistic um, app and he figured out ways that he could save money right off the bat. By the way, if you see this and it's recorded in a year, it's probably that app's going to be out of style. There's going to be cool new app out there anyway, probably. But anyway, yeah, we have VastBookie.ai. Yeah, so yes, someone just asked about VastBookie.ai. Is it an AI model that helps with bookkeeping? Yes, it's an app that we came out with called VastBookie.ai, VastBookie.ai. It's basically, um, well, it's not basically, it is a free bookkeeping app. Instead of going out and paying QuickBooks or Quicken, that $40 a month charge, you could use that app and it will put your books in order. And you don't need a bookkeeper in some cases. So it helps lower the cost to the entrepreneur for bookkeeping. And also because of the AI, it teaches it's learning the whole process of your expenses, of your revenue, and it makes suggestions going forward to potentially lower your tax liability. Now we're making it available to everyone. Obviously, we did it internally, then we have slowly started to drip it out, and now it's available to everyone. It's free to a certain extent, and depending on availability. Onboarding is automated, but it's still a process. But anyway, and by the way, it's for the first entity. Each entity thereafter, there is a cost. Um, um, the hardest challenge. What was the hardest challenge to writing the book? Setting aside time to review what we were putting together. It's timely. You have to really think. We really have to think when you're putting together a book of this magnitude, because whatever I write in there might actually be read by a client, and that client might act upon it. By the way, all this that I'm doing now and in the book is for educational purposes only. Make sure you talk to your advisor, et cetera. But what I would say is I want to make sure that this book was one that someone could take action upon, and almost in every instance, if it fit for them, they could actually do something today that can actually help make them money, save money, put a moat around their business, and protect their assets. Um, and I know I did that. If you look at the book, it's obvious that I met my objective there without a doubt. That was the hardest part. Uh, am I going to write another book? Yeah, I'm going to write another book. But what I would say is this ModernMillions.AI, it's always going to be updated. But yes, I do want to write another book. And I believe this is more than anyone wants to know. I believe in quantum computing is the kind of the holy grail of the fintech space. And I want to write a book as how that is going to help small businesses or an entrepreneur. I know everyone's saying that for one, that's ways out, number one. But number two, why would I need a quantum computing to help me as a small business owner when I have AI? I think AI is going to do, it's going to do volume. It's going to do unbelievable amounts for business owners, for entrepreneurs, et cetera. But I think quantum computing is the whole. There's no better computer than a quantum computer. And I think that AI it's going to be groundbreaking, but quantum computing is going to take everything to the next unbelievable level. I want to be, that's going to be my final legacy as far as I'm concerned. I know it sounds weird, but as far as I'm concerned to the business world, I want to help entrepreneurs, solopreneurs utilize quantum computing for security of their business, as an example, and also to help increase their net worth, et cetera, and save on taxes, et cetera, et cetera. So that I think will be my final book. I didn't want to take more than 20 minutes to do this, answering questions. What we'll do is we're going to answer some more questions as they come in the chat, if that's okay. I didn't want to take more than 20. What I would say in closing, if you have any questions, ModernMillions.ai, go to our website at VastSolutionsGroup.com, or you can even email info@VastSolutionsGroup.com, info@VastSolutionsGroup.com. I'm glad, thank you very much. I had another compliment for me putting in the work to help not only with this presentation, but also the book. Anyway, once again, this is Ken French. I'm signing off. I appreciate all the input.